Alrighty, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Boyan Petreski. Today is February 23rd, 2022. We will be doing the Nailing FX and Crypto session for today. The disclaimer is there for your use and your understanding that this is for educational and instructional purposes only. Please make sure to read it, as obviously there is risk in trading with the markets. So let's go ahead and get started. The agenda for today, we're going to look at what the current market environment is, trade review of any closed trades, trade management of any open positions, and of course, trade execution, looking for new opportunities. Now, I just want to double check the last time that we were looking at trades here on our channel. Let me just double check. Don't believe it was. 1 second, please. Yeah, so we already reviewed these. So I think this is the first time we're looking at new stuff since the last time we met. Yeah. So those were. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to be looking at new positions, open positions. We don't have any right now, so we're going to be skipping straight to step number 4, which is trade execution. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Now, for those of you who are joining me live, if you want to, please go ahead and feel free to type anything in the chat box. I'll be able to see it here on my other screen, and I'll catch on to it. There shouldn't be too much of a delay with our private stream. But in case there is, I'll wait for a few seconds every time I ask a question. Again, feel free just to say hi or hello, and we'll be getting started shortly. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be looking at here, as we said, we're doing FX and crypto. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the first one over here, which is, oh, I just realized that's something wrong here. There we go. I'm like, that seems a little weird because I opened this earlier. There we are. Okay, so we are looking at the dollar yen currency pair. As you see, we have a couple of things going on here. First thing that I'm going to point out, I'm going to focus on this chart first. This is our higher time frame, common time frame. So I'm just going to type it up here that this is our common time frame. And we call it a common time frame because the daily, as well as what we see here, the 4-hour and the 1-hour charts are going to be the ones that give us the directionality for the trade that we want to take. Now, if we're taking a daily trade, that might mean that this is going to be either a swing trade potentially, or maybe we hold it for a couple of days. Maybe end of day, we'll see how it ends up being. However, given the fact that we're looking at the daily, obviously we are expecting to hold it a little bit longer. Of course, it wouldn't hurt to get one trade that's gonna end up going, from a week where we take it to the following week where we analyze it and it's still open, right? That would mean that we have a really good trade on. So again, focusing only on this chart here, we're going to look at the auto climate. As long as the climate is giving us a direction, which currently this one is, right? This is the 4th one out of typically 6. And I myself would actually count this as 3 because it's 3 confirmed dots. So this is the 3rd one in my book, the 3rd one out of typically 6. So we're definitely not late to the party here. So that means we have permission to look for short opportunities. Now, where do we get in? Where do we get out? Well, that's the analysis that we're going to do right now. Obviously, we are looking at short opportunities. So 115, 116 is also a number of interest that is represented by this moving average, the EMA 9, as you see right here, the 9 EMA. Is giving us a value of 115.116. And then, of course, we need to connect this chart to this one here, right? We need to connect these two charts to be able to execute on this trade. The way we do that is we simply look at the auto UFOs here on this chart and see if there's anything coinciding with this number 115.119 on this chart here, right? So 115.119 is about here. And as you see right now, there are no UFOs there. So ideally speaking, we would have liked to see a UFO. Sorry, we would have liked to see a UFO here around this area somewhere. So something like this, maybe even like that, would have actually been the perfect entry there. However, since we don't have a UFO there, we're going to just draw one out just so we can show this a little bit better. So let's just say, these highs here, created a new a UFO there and there, right? So let's say there was a UFO right here. So what would we do? Well, it's very simple. What we're going to do is, given that price is at 115.007, we would like to get in at or about at or below the moving average value that's being enveloped by a UFO. So let me repeat that. As long as this value, 115.118, is within this UFO, we can take the trade. All right. So given the fact that this hypothetical UFO is there, and we can take this trade, we're gonna go ahead and take it. So let's go ahead and do that exactly. And actually, to be a little cleaner and a little easier to understand, let's just do this. Right. So this is going to be a red UFO, right? And we're gonna draw a where's my ellipse? We're gonna draw an ellipse here. Not the best of drawings, but it'll do. So let's say this is our UFO. Where do we get in? Where do we get out? Well, this is how we're going to draw that one. We're looking for a short position. So this is what this would look like. We would get in at the beginning point of that UFO. We would get out above it. How many ticks we will decide based on the instrument. And the first one will obviously be a 1-to-1 ratio trade. So that's what it would look like. As you see, risk to reward 1-to-1. Now, that would be the first leg of the trade. The second leg of the trade, the final target where we would actually make some money, right, would be the opposing UFO on this common time frame. So since we're going short, an opposing UFO would be a green or an olive colored UFO. So that means our final target would be right here, 114, 156. All right, so if there's any questions or comments, please feel free to ask them in the chat box. If not, I'm going to go ahead and start analyzing some of these markets, looking at some trades to execute on and analyze, and then whatever we find, we execute. Whatever we don't, we simply mark it off and move on to the next one. All right, I'll give you guys a few more seconds to catch up, so you can, if there's any questions, any comments, you can go ahead and ask them. If not, as I said, I'm going to continue forward and we'll go from there. Since we couldn't find a trade on this one, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is the 4-hour. Okay, so the 4-hour is actually the opposite. It is a confirmed up climate. The third one out of typically 8. Okay, so it's the third one out of typically 8. Again, I'm counting the confirmed candles. Third one out of typically 8 is not bad at all. Looking at the current market climate, though, 115 even is where the moving average is. However, we don't have any UFOs right there. Obviously, price did reverse right on it. Look at that. So there is a possibility, and if we were to wait on it, we could find out. But there is a possibility where this candle, which would, so this one opened at, started at 9:06, so that means in about half an hour we could come back to this one and see if it made a new UFO. Because as soon as this candle closes, if it's a powerful move up from here, and when this candle closes, this one right here, it could actually make a new UFO right here because of a strong move up. Okay, so that is a possibility. However, just for the sake of time, we're not going to just sit here and look at this for half an hour. We're going to go ahead and keep looking and see if we can find something else. Okay, so that's that for the dollar yen. We don't have a confirmation on the hourly, so we're going to go ahead and switch to the dollar Swiss franc. And we're same thing. We're going to go from the daily down. Okay, I just want to reset the scale on both of these. Okay, unconfirmed climate, as we see here, so nothing to do there. Let's go ahead and go into the 4-hour with the 21-minute. Unconfirmed there as well. That's interesting. Okay, so 8-minute and hourly. All right, it is the fifth one out of 5. And, we do have some time for this one, but given the fact how far it's moved from the moving average here, this would most likely be invalidated unless, we have a substantial move up. And even if we do, by the time it gets to our targets and everything, it's going to be past that point where it's going to be the sixth one out of typically 6 out of typically 5. So at that point, we would have to close at a market. So we're just going to go ahead and skip on it. All right, that's that for the dollar franc. Obviously, we had some unconfirmed climates there. So let's go ahead on the dollar pound. Okay. Dollar pound currently on the 6th day up out of typically 5. So we're going to go ahead and skip on that one as well. Let's go to the 4-hour. Unconfirmed. Hourly. Okay, confirmed up. Currently already trading below the moving average. So unfortunately, not a whole lot that we could do there probably. Yep. 35,955. And the moving average, price is currently below the moving average, so nothing to do there as well. All right, let's look at the New Zealand, the Kiwi. So on the daily, we are, we're on the 5th day up out of typically 6, but price is just so staggeringly far. If this was the first one out of typically, 6, then it may have been worth checking out right now. But given the fact that it's so far, it's not even worth spending time on. Same thing on the 4-hour. Same thing on the hourly. Let's look at the Aussie. Daily the same as the Kiwi. Unsurprising there. 4-hour, hourly, same thing, overextended. All right, let's look at the euro dollar. On the daily, unconfirmed on the 4 hour, second 4 hour confirmation out of typically 5. Okay, so this is not looking bad. Let's take a look at the 21 minute and see how that looks. Okay, 113,390, 134, let's call it. Nope, this is not going to work either. I really thought we may have something here because we do have this UFO here, but moving averages is right here, right? So there's no UFO there, so therefore we don't have a trade. Unfortunately, that was going to look really good. Let's take a look at the hourly. All right, first confirmed. All right, we may have something here. Okay, 134.54, 134.30. Yep, we do have a trade here, so let's go ahead and set this up and get in on this. So we're going to be buying at 1.13454. We're going to round this up a little bit, so 134.45. We're going to do take profit. Our stop loss is going to be 1.13417, and we're going to round this down and take away 5 pips. So this is going to be 36. So only a 9 pip stop and risk. 150 buck. Let's go ahead and buy that. Do it again. 1.1345. Take profit, stop loss is the same. Take profit is the first opposing UFO, which is 1.13925. Okay, same thing, risking 150. And let's go ahead and put that trade in. Sorry. I think should be filling fairly soon here. Yep, we got filled. Looking good. So let's see how this works out. I just realized I didn't take my screenshot. Let's go ahead and do that now. So Euro USD, save 2022 or 223. This is Euro USD, and this is on the 1 hour setup. Okay. Now, something that needs to be said about this here is the fact that I still haven't figured out why, quite exactly why, but the first leg that's here, you see the stop loss is right there. The first leg, for some reason, always gets canceled on me. I still can't figure out why, but it does. I don't know why. It's beyond me as to why that happens. But we do know that if this goes our way, okay, we're going to be taking half the position there. Okay, so it's a 1-to-1 trade. So if we go to here, those are the orders. So see this one, sell stop canceled. I don't understand why it shows it up there. That's the one that filled. That's the one that filled. It shows that this one at 13,540 got canceled. Again, I don't know why, but we do know that that's where we need to be taking off half the position. Okay, so just so we're all on the same page. All right, so that's the one setup that we have. The trade is currently working. And to make things a little bit better even for us, I would say the fact that we also have a hourly UFO right here where price currently is, should help our trade work out a little bit better. The 8-minute UFO was completed. It was all set. It was used. So let's take a look and see how we make out of this one. Again, I'm just going to put a note here. I'm actually going to set an alert here for me. It was at 13,540 that we had our T1, and I needed to alert me once per minute. Oh, okay, I guess I don't need it open-ended. Let's have it expire by tomorrow, and we're gonna have to set this as T1 hit close half position manually. All right, so that way we know when it's time to close the position, that we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, let's look at the dollar CAD next. So on the daily, fourth one out of typically 5. However, as you see, price is already trading below the moving average, so nothing to do here. The 4-hour is looking good. Let's see, it's the third one out of typically 5. Let's look at the 4-hour with the 21-minute. Okay, 27,225. 27,225 is right at the bottom of this one. All right, I'm going to put this trade on. I'm not 100% sure that the moving average will be within it, but I'm also willing to bet that price isn't just going to shoot straight on up. So I think it's probably going to, push the moving average a little bit lower, and then it's going to be fine if it does retest this UFO. So let's go ahead and set this up as well. All right, so we're going to be selling this one. This is at 1.27175. We have a take profit and stop loss. Our stop loss is going to go at 1.27274. Round it up and add 5 pips, so that will be 32. Sorry, I forgot. If I tab, it's gonna do that thing that it does, the annoying thing. 27175, round it down. Okay. And this one is again 1.27274, rounded up to 74. So that's going to be 8 actually, plus 5 pips, so that's going to be 33. So we're risking 16 pips for that T1. Okay, again, risking 150. Go ahead and put that trade in. Looking good. Same thing, only this time we're going to go at 1.2701. As we know, that's the 2717. 2717 is our entry. 2717. Stop remains the same. The take profit, however, is going to be at 1.2639. And just so we don't miss out on things, this is already rounded up. We're going to give it 2 pips, so this will be at 41. So that's the trade there. Go ahead and sell that. And now I just want to screenshot it before we Huh, that's a little weird. Okay, let's go ahead and take this screenshot here. So that's the dollar CAD. I'm going to save that. So 2022-02-23. This is USD CAD. This is the 4-hour setup on the USD CAD. Okay, that's that for that one. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? So that's that really for the majors. We're going to go into the minors as well, unless there's any particular requests. Let me know. If there aren't, we're going to go ahead and continue going down the list and figuring out where the next opportunity may be. How's the Euro trade doing? Okay, heading on to the stop. That's okay. Quite the deep move down there. Actually, on the Euro, we did it on the hourly. So let's just confirm that everything's looking okay with the 8-minute. So, yeah, as of right now, the hourly UFO is also gone. So that means those orders were used up as well. So this will most likely stop out. But again, that's how it is. That's the name of the game is, take chances, take risks. As long as they're statistically in your favor, then that's okay. As a good friend of mine said once, seeing losses for a trader should be the same as seeing blood for a doctor. You cannot trade without seeing losses. This could easily reverse and head on up just because of the fact that this low is here. Um, it is currently making newer highs on the 8-minute. It has not challenged this high up here just yet. So as long as this low holds here, I would say that we do have a good opportunity to see this move to the upside. But of course, the exact opposite could happen, and this could just head on down, and that's okay. That's how trading works. Right now, we have plenty of time for this trade to work out for us. Even if we have this is the first one out of typically 6, so we have 6 hours to have this type of movement happen. So as long as the climates stay confirmed, we're okay. And right now we are seeing a bit of a bounce from that area. So now it's just a matter of time of waiting it out. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the miners. All right, Euro Aussie. Wow. Fourth one out of typically 5, so we can't really do anything on that one. 4-hour, extremely overextended. Hourly, same story. CAD, overextended on the hourly, overextended on the 4-hour, and just about overextended on the daily. Okay, let's take a look at this real quick. See if there's anything here for us. 72,352. Yeah, no. I thought maybe if we have a UFO, we could take it on the last. We would have all of today to wait this out, right? We have 8 hours, 7.5 hours for this to work out. which could be enough time to get a T1. However, there's no UFO at the price that we need it to be. So let's check out Aussie CAD. Wait, I'm sorry. I don't know if we went through this one. 4 hour, 8th out of 8th. Nothing there. Hourly, overextended. Yeah, we did. Okay, so the Aussie CAD on the daily, overextended. 4 hour, overextended. Hourly, first one. Okay. Let's go with the 8-minute here. 92,300. No UFOs nearby. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, the Aussie Swiss franc overextended on the hourly. First one up on the daily. Okay, let's take a look at that. Daily and the 55-minute. Big UFO on the daily. My God. Moving average is at 66, 259, 260. Ooh, that's way down here. Okay, so we don't have anything there. 66, 260 is right here. So nothing there to do. Let's look at the 4 hour, overextended, hourly, overextended. All right, Aussie yen, overextended on the hourly. Okay, third one out of typically 7 on the 4 hour. Okay, so that's not necessarily a bad thing at all. Price is quite a bit higher from it. Moving average at 83.33.7. 83.33.7, which is right here. Actually, yeah, right here. So if price were to come down, it would definitely catch on to this one here, onto this UFO, which starts at 83.306. Now, given the fact that this might not happen anytime soon, let's go ahead and set this up, and we'll set it up with an expiration past the climate. So if it expires, that means we're not going to take it. So let's go ahead and analyze this real quick. So this is the third one out of typically 7. So we got some time. So we got 4 more 4-hour increments. So it's 16 hours. So that's, at 6:30 in the afternoon tonight is 12. So another 2 is 8:30 my time, which would be 11:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, actually, yeah, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. So let's go ahead and set this up. So we will be buying the 83.306. I'm going to round it up to 83.31. We're going to have a take profit and stop loss at 83.049. We're going to round this down 83.04 and take away 5 pips. So this is going to be at 82.99. So 32 pip stop loss at 150. And we're going to leave this time in force. We're going to leave it until, let's just do it until midnight on, by tomorrow midnight. So 200. Okay, so we're going to do that. All right. Looking at the euro trade on another screen, so it has bounced a little bit, but it's still kind of sitting in the middle. Not a whole lot going on. So I'll get back to it in just a bit after I set this up. So again, we're buying the 83.31 Stop loss remains the same. Now the take profit will be way up there at 84,815. We're going to round it down to 84.81, so 150 pip move. All right, not a bad idea. Okay, now something that I forgot to do in the other ones that I should have done is actually put a vertical line of where we found our trade, so it's easier to track when we go back in time in case this does work out. We know where we picked the trade up, right? Okay, so that's that there. Let's go ahead and take a screenshot of this. Okay, so this is the Aussie yen. Save. AUDJPY. This is the 4-hour setup. All right, that's that there. Just a quick glance over at our trade. Still holding negative, not stopped out yet. Obviously, we're risking 300 bucks on this, so we're at about halfway to our stop. If this were to shoot up, I'll look at it on the other screen, and we're gonna go ahead and close half the position. So we'll go from there as we need to. Okay, that's that for the Aussie yen. Now I'm gonna switch gears and start going through some of the CAD. Actually, I just realized they were improperly formatted here. I think I had my percent change. Okay, so let's take a look at the CAD yen. Right now, again, if there's any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat. I just want to make sure everything's working here okay, so I'm just going to write testing just to make sure everything's still good. Okay. Now let's take a look at this one here, the CAD yen. So the CAD yen is confirmed up, third one out of typically 8, actually 9. So we're definitely not late in this party. Price is at 90.41. And if price were to come down, could it potentially work with this one, 90.286? It's very close. I would say probably, let's see, 407. So yeah, if price were to drop from 66 down to 400, that's 20 something pips. Do we see moving average dropping about 12 pips? This is too close to call, folks. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip it. If it's too close to call, I'd rather not set up the trade. I'd rather catch it when I look at it again in a couple hours. So that's for that one. Let's take a look at the daily. Fourth one out of 5, but already trading above the moving average. Hourly overextended. Franc yen shooting on up right now. On the daily, unconfirmed. On the 4-hour, second up out of typically 7. So let's take a look and see if we have something here. Big move from there. Moving average at 125, 142. There's a load of UFOs here that any one of these could be used. 125, 142 is right on this UFO here, but if this were to fall, it would most likely be somewhere around this 125 area. Um, and I don't mind this area at all because it's below this original move here. Um, so this could be a good setup here. And this is also on the 4 hour. So let's go ahead and set it up. So we have 120. We're going to take this UFO here, the one below. That's, well, actually, I'm sorry. These two overlap. That's what it is. I'm like, why is it not moving? So 125.087, 125.087. We're going to round that up at '09. Our stop loss is going to be below this UFO here because there's no way we can place a stop loss between these two because of the slippage that we have. Rather, not slippage, but the extra 5 pips that we give to the stop, right? So this is 125.01, this is 124.99, so there's only a 2 pip difference there. Meaning if we use this number and subtracted 5 pips from it, it would be within this UFO, so therefore we have to use this UFO. So our stop would need to be at 124.917. Round that down, minus 5 pips is 86. 23 pips there and there. Okay, risking 150. And of course, let's go ahead and mark the vertical line here so we know where we looked when we were taking the trade. Same thing again, 125.09. Take profit, stop loss stays the same. The take profit changes though, 125.728. Round that down to 72 and buy that, and that's our trade. Okay, so let's go ahead and also take a screenshot of this so we have it for our records, and then we'll be able to analyze it next time. Save, so 2022, 2023. This is the CADJPY, and this is on the 4-hour setup. Save that. Okay, looking good. All right, now I realized you spent quite a bit of time on the forex markets. I would like to also take a look at some crypto. So let's go ahead and switch gears, head into the crypto space, which is moving quite a bit today. Bitcoin's up as of today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour first, 38,217. Within this UFO, so we do have a trade on Bitcoin as well. All right, so let's take a look. Let's do a buy at 38,398.3. I'm just going to round it up, 399. Our stop loss would be at 37,887.2. Round that down. And I typically give it another 50 here on Bitcoin. So that's going to be 37. Same thing for this one. We're going to risk 150 bucks. Buy that there. Okay. Wait a minute. What are we doing here? Hold on. Getting a little overly excited. Folks, if you're with me here, I made a mistake, and that's quite okay. I just got excited. That's all it is. The climate is not confirmed. What are we doing here? Right? I just got overly excited. That's all it was. Daily's down. Hourly's overextended. 10th hourly up out of typically 5. So nothing to do on Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Overextended. Second hour up on the 4 hour. So this one is confirmed. So let's take a look at Ethereum and see if we can find something here. Moving average at 2666. 2666 is in this green UFO and overlapping olive UFO. So we do have a trade here on Ethereum. So let's go ahead and set this one up. Sorry, I just got a little overly excited there. So again, the first UFO that we have that's where our price is at 26. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and take it on to the more aggressive one here at 2676.93. I'm just going to round it up to 77. Stop loss, however, is going to be down below this one at 2625.04. Same thing, round it up. And same thing as Bitcoin, give it another $50. So this will be at 25, 75. Yes. Took me a second. Okay, and also same thing here, risking $150. We're gonna go ahead and buy that. That's our limit. Stop losses well below there. Okay. Buy it again. 26.77. Take profit, stop loss, same stays the same. Final target 29.59. 29.59.09. I'm just going to round it down to 29.59 and buy that as well. Put on that horizontal so it's easier to find later. And let's take a screenshot of this as well. Okay, screenshot that. There's our Ethereum. So 2022 or 223. This is ETH 4 hour setup. That's good. Okay, that's that for this one. The EURUSD, I saw it bounce up pretty hard. Interestingly enough. Yep, so came to, let me just double check something here. For our EURUSD, it was the hourly. So there's the hourly. Still confirmed. We got plenty of time for this to work. Printed a little green a little bit here. Didn't quite make it to our T1 at 540. You know, not quite to the 540. 13,540. Actually, I'm sorry. That's why I'm like, wait a minute. It did come close. Yeah. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Just looking at my screenshot real quick. Yeah. So it came pretty close to our entry point. Obviously, we're tracking from it right now, but we're going to see how things work out from it. So it came pretty close to our entry point and to print green, but it didn't. So right now we're just waiting for it to work itself out. Okay. Let's see here. Quite the red candle there on the 8-minute. Of course, the markets are open now. How are the majors? Well, I won't be able to see it. Let's go back to crypto here. Litecoin overextended, unconfirmed on the 4 hour. Sol already up 6% for the day, so we're not going to touch it. XRP seems to be lagging a little bit. 4 hour unconfirmed, hourly overextended. So nothing to do there. Cardano coming down pretty hard. Oops. 4 hour unconfirmed, hourly overextended. BNB tested below the EMA and pulling from it now. But again, unconfirmed, and that's pretty much the same thing. Hey, Mark. Thanks for joining me today. Bum, 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 bum. So this looking pretty bleak right now. Fairly close to the stop, but again, this is the same place where price rallied from before. So let's see if it's going to hold again here in this area. Of course, we don't have a UFO, but this area is where this rally started from. Tested it down. If it holds, we'll be looking pretty good. If it doesn't, it'll be all good. Okay, so quite a few setups for today that we've had here. So we have the EUROCAD 4 hour, Aussie Yen 4 hour, Franc Yen on the 4 hour, and of course Ethereum on the 4 hour as well. Almost got into Bitcoin, right? On a little too of excited of a note, but that's okay. We caught it before we put it on, right? Okay. Yep. The stop did hit, so that one is closed within the session. That was the euro filled the euro dollar. So let's go ahead and take a screenshot of that. And euro USD. Save that as 2022 or 2023. Euro USD 1 hour exit. Okay. Let's see here. Axis we didn't check. Just want to double check here. Already have a lot of questions. Go for it, Mark. We got another few more minutes here in the session, so there's a good chance that all of these will be looking similar. We got one setup here on Ethereum, so we should be okay. Obviously, you're seeing this coming down pretty hard, so that's good news for us. We may get a fill, but go with the questions. Crypto on Oanda? No, I'm not trading crypto on Oanda. I'm trading crypto on a couple of different platforms. Uh, Binance, Coinbase, and what's the other one? I forget. eToro. Yeah. Okay. Any of these? See, what I like to do is I like to sort of my percent change and like look at the main ones here, which is Ethereum and Bitcoin. They're each up over 1%. If anything is lagging behind them, I'd like to see it. Like H bar right here is actually negative for the day. So let's take a look and see what's going on there. If they're takeable. lot of it is going to be much of the same, though. Whew, look at that wick. My God. I'm not quite sure, Mark. I would say definitely put it into a question. The email, which would be support@tradictive.com. I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. That's something that either Jose would answer or support could answer. As far as that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Andrew was working on a course that was going to cover crypto. I'm not sure where that is in the works, though. Adam's shooting up as well. 25,300. Well down here below. Okay, so depending on how volatile things turn today, but this might be a good setup as well here on Atom on the 4 hour. So 25, 26. It just depends on how price moves. However, this could easily be one that we would have to put in a time limit on. As you see, this is the second one out of typically, how many do we have? Okay, this is the second one out of typically 5. So we only have 3 4 hour increments. So by noon, if this doesn't hit, then we leave it alone. 25.26 with a stop of 25.024. Round this down to 02, take away 50 cents. So that's 24. It's going to be 24.48. No, that's not right. 24.52. That's what it should be. Okay, 1-to-1, risking 150. Okay, so that will be something like that. And now let's go ahead and buy it. Was just attracted by it based on how volatile the markets are. Crypto's just moving so much that it's hard to ignore. A lot of, and when there's a lot of volatility and movement, a lot of opportunities, right? Okay, 20, 25, 26. Take profit. Stop loss stays the same. Take profit is at 27,989. So buy that as well. And we're going to put a vertical here, just so we know where we took it. All right, and let's take a screenshot of this one. Atom, save 2022, 0223. This is Atom. Sorry, what were we talking about? Yeah, Atom. Yeah, it is Atom. 4 hour setup. All right. Well, that's kind of that for the day. We've got a couple of setups here. Obviously, the euro ended up stopping out, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 setups that we found today. 2 on crypto, 4 on forex, and yeah, let's see what the day brings. A lot of movement already happening across the board here. Bitcoin selling off right now slightly. It was up over 1%. Now it was up over, I think, 1.6%. Right now it's 1.1. So it's dropped 0.5% in the last 15 minutes, and that's what I mean by there's a lot of movement. As you see there, 0.43% in an 8-minute candle. if that doesn't tell you how volatile this market is, nothing ever will. Or you can just simply look at some of these daily candles and see this 1% move on a slow day, 7% move down on a fast day, and there's been more than that. There's been there's been upward movement of 11% here, as you see that on the 4th of February. So a lot of volatility in these markets. All right, folks, that's that for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Mark, thank you very much for being active in the chat too. Thanks everyone for joining me today, and I will catch you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.